Well, folks, you know me. Oh, yes, you know me. If you've been watching this channel for the night, let's try to get out of that sun. If you've watched this channel for the 9 or 10 months that it's been running, you know I have an opinion, and I voice that opinion, but you also know that when it's proved that I've got things wrong, which hasn't been often, but it's happened about twice, 3 times, I'm not afraid of coming on here and saying I'm sorry. Holding my hands up and saying, no, I got that one wrong. So to that end, did you hear the news yesterday? No? Well, I'll tell you what it's all about. It's all about you-know-who. He was on this channel a lot up until about 3 months ago. It's Dan WOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO Now then, who was that? It sounded like Frankie Howard, not Pompey. No, it didn't, but in my head that's what I thought of. No, Dan. Well, you know, he was accused of all sorts of things. All sorts of things. Mainly due to down to the Byline Times articles. They went for him week after week after week after week after week. And Danny Boy said he'd not done anything wrong, he'd not been a naughty boy. Few skeletons in the closet, but not too naughty. Nothing to break the law, and he would be found innocent. And he said this is a witch hunt on certain parts of the media, but more than that, it's down to a scorned boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, who's been a bad un and wants to see me in all kinds of doo-doo. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's a silly expression, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I read as much as I read, as we all did, and I looked into things and I thought, this man is as guilty as sin. Absolutely guilty as sin. I thought, you couldn't make all this up. You just couldn't. So, I was one of those people on that there internet here that said, I don't believe in Dan at all. I believe he's been a very, very naughty boy. The old hens are coming to roost now, to roost, or chickens, whatever, they're coming anyway. They're going to get him. He's in serious trouble. Various police forces were looking into him. We had loads and loads and loads of reports. Things were coming out on a daily basis. And I thought, this man is guilty as sin. It came at the time then when Schofield and Hugh Edwards were in the news, and I thought to myself, of all three of them, and others over the last 18 months that have done wrong things, wrongdoings, and, dodgy things, I thought of them all, Danny's probably the worst of the lot. He's going to be seen to have made lots of mistakes, and now he's being caught, and it's all coming on, as I said, to roost. Well, to that end, read yesterday that 2 of the police forces that were investigating him have dropped all charges, and he's found to have done nothing that's broken the law. Now, I don't know if the police forces have said that, or Dan himself has, but either way, somebody has, and if he said it himself, I'm sure he can't be making it up. Now, we don't know whether there's other forces looking into him and other things. We don't at all. But all I would say is, if they've really dropped all charges, and if he really is innocent, then the ex-boyfriend's got a massive case to answer. But more importantly, so has Byline Times. I mean, they must be in serious trouble if it's wrong. I mean, they've done article after article after article with eyewitness after eyewitness. Now, I do believe the ex-boyfriend was a scorned ex-boyfriend, and I believe a lot of the people making accusations was it rent boys and male dancers and whatever else. Now, whether his boyfriend has known these people and got these people to come up with these stories, and I honestly don't know. But from what we heard, many of the things were about people that were over the age of consent, but people were being filmed without the knowledge, people were being blackmailed, and films of them having sex with others were used in the blackmail. Well, it doesn't matter what age you are, if you're doing that, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter how old the participants are. If somebody's blackmailing me with sex tapes and I know nothing about them, then I can have them done. So I can't understand how everything's been made up and these things don't exist. I would have thought surely Byline Times would have seen all these tapes first and realised that the people within them knew nothing about them. And anyway, I don't know. So at this stage, I'm apologising to Dan WOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO apologising. At this stage, it looks like I'm wrong. That said, I don't want to be wrong twice here, and I still think there's a chance there may be something in it. There's not normally any smoke without fire, and as I said, there's just so many accusations. I just can't believe that absolutely everything he's been accused of is innocent of. It's a strange one, it really, really is. You know, I thought it's gone so quiet for so long because they're preparing the case and Danny's going to be in real hot water, because we were hearing that he'd had to sell his house and what have you. We know he lost his job and he's been put on garden leave at the old GB News there, but that was also part in what happened that night with Lawrence Fox. And I thought to myself, no, that's the end of the road for old Danny Boy, probably in this country. It's looking really bad for him. And now we hear charges are dropped, so at this stage I don't know. But if he's innocent, I was one that got it wrong. I'm sorry. We had a couple of people here defending him, coming here and said to me, you're out of order, he's brilliant, he's Dan, he's this, he's that, he's the other. I was never so sure about him anyway, but when all these accusations came out, I thought, yeah, he's definitely done all of this. This, you know, just shows, doesn't it? You shouldn't make an opinion until you know 100% that they're guilty. And I was guilty of that. I still probably will be further down the line, because it's what most of us do. We hear something and we either do or don't believe it. Part of it is whether we do or don't want to believe it, I suppose. But I thought there was that much muck against Dan's name, it couldn't be anything but true. But as of yesterday, it makes me question now what I first thought, because it's looking like, at this moment in time, it's all made up. As I say, God help Barline Times, I mean, they've lost all credibility. I mean, they've devoted so many man hours to it, so many stories over so many weeks and months. You just can't believe they've been wrong about everything, surely. Anyway, we'll see what comes out in the wash. I'm sure it's still got a little bit to run yet.